Hey there, everybody. Robert Taylor with Wonderscape Creations doing another video. Um, I say another, but it's been well over a year since this. Um, Obviously, we've moved to Ascent Combat Framework Ultimate, also known as ACFU. Um, and because of that, my team needs new videos. So I'm going ahead and creating these videos because yes, ACFU has everything we need for combat, but the caveat is it's a little more complex to set up. However, the caveat to that is it's very optimized. So well worth it. We have a fewer extra steps, but we get a very flexible system. Excuse me. So, um, just as a heads up, here are all of my notes. There's a lot of things we have to make. And I am going to separate all of this into chunks so that we're not doing everything all in one video, because that would take a great deal of time, probably hour and a half, 2 hours worth of video. So we are going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to move my notes over here to the right of me. The first thing we are going to do, select over here, is I am going to create the weapon data. So, for those of you who are new to ACFU, including my team members, PASC and many other frameworks have it set up to where the data and the data for the weapon and the physical and visual representation of the weapon are two separate blueprints. Helps keeps things light and versatile, and really helps to keep things as minimalistic as possible. So first we needed to, as I said, create the data. Now for me, I'm creating a spear. And for my team, you need to make sure you follow the structure properly. Because I have our melee weapon master right here. And then if we go into one-handed, we have one-handed melee master, which is a child of the melee weapon master. Same thing happens here with two-handed. So we know that this is the melee master. We have a greatsword already, but we're going to create a spear. So let's hit new spear. Now you have a couple options. You know, obviously right click and create child blueprint class. But that then requires you to move it, then you have to clean up redirectors, and it can cause a mess. That and PASC has made it really easy. We know we need the two-handed melee master creating a spear. So we come here to right click, and we come into ACF inventory, weapons, melee weapons. We get this pop-up window that gives us every single child of that melee weapon, including the melee weapon, as you can see. So I just need to find my two-handed melee weapon master. Hit OK. And then I will call this one BP Spear Master underscore WC for Wonderscape Creations. To which, if I call, yep, if I do this, yeah. Okay. We will now create a folder called Basic. I want to keep my file structure the same. And one more time, come in here to the inventory, weapons, melee. I'm going to look for my Spearmaster, BP underscore primitive spear underscore WC. Now we can go ahead and get this open. Bring that over here. Now that we're in here like this, I'm going to go ahead to the widget reflector 1.25. That way it's easier for you guys to see. So we have a few things we need to make sure that we set up. Now, obviously, making sure that you have all the info set up how you want is important. I'm going to bypass most of this for now because it's irrelevant for the story, for the video that we're doing. Just make sure you set all of this up how you need to for your project. For me and my team, I'm working on that part. One thing we do need to make sure we touch in the item info is item slots. So we're going to go ahead and hit the plus sign. And for now, and actually forever, because the item slots need to be saved here, I'm just going to make it melee weapon. So obviously you have left-handed weapon, works really well. You can have both of them, but that goes into another complexity that I may go over in a video in the future, because we do have that flexibility now on the blueprint side. Pask is working on making it on the C++ side and then sometime in the future. So now that we have this slot, we can minimize the item info. We can ignore fragments. That's another topic for another day. Now here we are in the weapons. The weapon is where we do quite a bit of work. So obviously you can choose between one hand, offhand, and two-handed weapon. We want it to be a two-handed weapon. The next thing we're going to do is we need to get the mesh and create the item actor class. So in this episode, we will create the item actor class, but we're not going to touch on that until the next episode. So first, let me get my weapon here. I'm going to come here to my axes so that I can easily get to my spears. All right. We're going to go with polearm 5 here. Put it here in the weapon mesh. Oh, one thing I will do. Okay, it says basic melee weapon, so it's fine. Now let's go ahead and create that. We're going to search to come back to where we were at. And I'm going to go down one to where all of my spears are at. Because the vast majority, if not all of my spears, will share the same parent actor. Or will share the same item class actor. So let's go ahead and make that. This one is not found in this section. We need to go and create a blueprint class. Let me see. Okay. So right click, blueprint class, BP, ACF underscore base melee weapon actor BP. This is the one he uses in the sample. So this guarantees that anything that happens in the sample happens to ours as well. And if there's something you don't want, you can obviously remove it in your master. We're going to hit select. I'm going to name this BP underscore spear underscore actor underscore WC. And put it here in the item actor class. Now then, the next thing we are going to do is, sorry, I need to go back to where I was at. We need to set up the weapon type, moveset overlay, and moveset actions. I will explain all of these in future episodes. We just need to set up the tags. So let's go ahead and do that. So obviously it's a item, so we can only choose from items. Weapon, we are in melee. Whoops. And Pask has most, if not all, weapon types already here. So just gonna go ahead and hit spear. Then for moveset, we're just gonna keep it defaulted to moveset because we're using Gasp and we're gonna keep it that way. The game, what was it? The gameplay animation sample project or something like that. Hit the new locomotion system. We're just gonna keep it basic. If you want to have a unique one, you can. I'm not going to be going over that, at least in the near future, because we're going to keep things where they're at for the time being at the very least. Moveset overlay. This we will need to create our own, I do believe. Let's find out. Nope, there's spear right here. Perfect. And then this one is going to be identical. These are separate. That way, if you say The moveset overlay will remain the same, but you have a boss spear. So instead of the moveset actions may be moveset.spear.epic boss. I don't know. That way there's flexibility. Now, next thing we want are the sockets. I'm going to be, for now, using the sockets provided on the skeletal mesh of ACF. I'll be making those changes in the future for our team. For now, we are just making sure it all works. So SH sword equip for the on-body socket name, and single hand weapon. Perfect. We scroll down to here. I do believe I already have everything set. I personally have it set, but you won't, because I set all of this stuff on my my parent for all of my melee weapons. This mirrors exactly to how Pask has his sword. So this is very much meant to be changed just for now, for the purposes of what we are doing. I wanted to make sure that this was set up identically so that I could make sure that everything was working exactly as his sword as far as damage went. So now that I've left this up here long enough, just make sure you get the tags set correctly and set up the mod type and all that stuff, the values, the GE level, and then we can go ahead and keep going. And with that, that is everything you need to do for the for the weapons data. So that is the end of this video. Do keep in mind that my team and I are actively working on our own written documentation, and once and as it's been created, it will be provided to the public as well. That way you can see how and where we're doing everything in written form as well. Those written docs are easier to keep updated and easier to modify and change. So if you see something, if you're from the future watching this and something isn't aligning properly, and we happen to still be using ACFU, just go ahead and check out our written documentation. As soon as we have something to show, it will the link to the documentation will be down below in the description. Again, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.